We are reviewing the Raw after WrestleMania 41, which we probably don't plan to review every single Raw, but the Raw right after WrestleMania is usually treated as a big deal. At least it has been by fans. There must have been a bunch of great things that were happening, and it just became a thing. But I'll say in recent years, it feels like it's been pretty disappointing. And maybe it is just because WrestleMania seems to be a finale of sorts, and it's like there's really no obvious direction, and people like to think for big debuts that could happen, and sometimes they just don't deliver those big moments. But there was some hope because there were some recent signings with the WWE, so we had our eyes on a certain couple things that could happen here. But uh,
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I will agree 100% that I feel like the last few have not been all that exciting. They might have like one angle or something that was a little bit more exciting than the others, but pretty disappointing for I don't know. And I don't know if it's really actually ever been like officially like, oh, this is a big thing. But yeah, the fans definitely um, do that because it's kind of a restart, a new season, so
yeah,
to say.
yeah. And I thought this one probably had a better chance to be a good one just because WrestleMania didn't feel that much like a finale for a lot of
It's true.
storylines. It was kind of setting up, as you can see, John Cena as a new champion. I think that's one of the biggest
Spoiler.
things. Spoiler alert for WrestleMania. One of
There'll
the
be
big
spoilers
things.
for this night as well, outside of just
Yes,
that.
yes. Obviously, spoilers for everything that happened. So that's kind of the thing that I was most excited about to see going into this. And he kicked off Raw with, I thought, a pretty good promo and getting to see this character. It's just getting more and more fleshed out, getting to understand what he is as a heel character. And I'm really liking this. He kind of a little stuck up having the ring announcer well, we thought he was handing him some money or a check of some sort. I'm like, is he paying him off? Is this final boss money? What is going on here? But it was just a message and introduction fit for the greatest of all time, the 17 time world champion. And I really like this promo. I thought it was a really good one.
Yeah, I thought it was really good as well, and it showed kind of at the beginning of the year he had said how many dates he was going to, or he planned on, trying to make them all, try or make as many as he could, and he must have given a number. I think it was 36.
Yeah.
Was it 36 that it started at? And showed how many he had already been to, and like part of me is like, I feel like I'm being gaslit here. He has not been to this many because I don't know, just the build to WrestleMania, kind of with the big heel turn of John Cena at Elimination Chamber. It felt like I expected him at more things, and he didn't really show up for like a couple weeks after that, and then a couple weeks between the when he did show up and then WrestleMania. But yeah, he'd already had was it 9 appearances total?
I something like that. Yeah, Royal Rumble, Raw at Netflix, couple more Raws, a few more Elimination Chamber, and then 3 straight days in Vegas, or almost 3 straight days. And yeah, I liked how he did that and how his whole character is, this is what you got, this is what you got left, like 26 dates or whatever, 27. And I really I'm looking forward to seeing that countdown becoming a big deal as he's like, I just got a few more here, and if he does hold on to that championship in here, and when he was on Pat McAfee show, he's saying he's going to take that, the legendary championship held by all these different people, kind of that last relic of all these eras. He's going to take that home with him, and they're going to have to start over without it. I don't know how much he talked about that here, but he did talk about it on the Pat McAfee show. I
Mhm.
really love that angle. It's not making it out to be, oh, he's gonna literally end WWE. So it's just like stupid. He's like, yeah, it'll go on, but you're not gonna have this. So it's uh, more up in the air as to what's actually gonna happen.
Yeah, I would agree. Because yeah, I feel like at first when he was kind of saying that, I'm like, oh, what is he gonna do? Like interfere in matches, be behind the scenes, hitting theme music during the middle of matches, be messing with the WWE to the point of killing it. Because yeah, when he's kind of supposedly teaming with the final boss, even though he hasn't been seen with the final boss since. Um, it didn't really make sense that Dwayne was all big business guy. I have ownership in the company, and then his top champion guy is saying, "Well, I want to kill this company." Those two things don't really mesh up, but in this way, I guess it kind of does. You could say like maybe you could agree, like Dwayne could be like, "Yeah, it kind of, you need to, I don't know, what is it, trimming the
Yeah,
roses or flowers and stuff." Um, to be able to kind of maybe
yeah,
start anew and
yeah.
maybe
That's
make
true.
a
Give
fresh
him,
start.
and Dwayne has all the power to build it up however he wants. I could see something
It's
like
true.
that
In his image,
in
he could
his
build it up.
yes. And then we got a moment setting up, I think, the next step. That's going to St. Louis
Because
Backlash.
what do you say, ruthless aggression? So he kind of was like pretty much hinting that he was like the last old school wrestler.
Yes,
That's kind of why he wanted to kind of take this.
yes.
And there was one other guy
Mm-mm.
that's been maybe around as one of the last few outside of maybe Rey Mysterio, but would have maybe been a little weird if Rey Mysterio showed up here.
Oh, Rey Mysterio. Didn't he squash Rey Mysterio? Would have been full circle.
It
Uh,
would have been full circle.
yeah, Randy Orton. Oh boy, crowd loves Randy Orton. Crowd loves John Cena. This might be more hype than even in their prime. Well, Randy Orton's still in his prime somehow, but like even back in the day when they were having these rivalries, I didn't think that like it would just be fun to see them fight again. But I'm like, this might be more hype than any of those ever were when they eventually meet up here.
Yeah, 100%. I am really looking forward to this match, especially with the new dynamic of Cena kind of being the heel and Randy being more of a face. I don't believe that ever happened in their previous years long, decades long rivalry. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we're getting this one so early on. This one kind of felt like, and who's to say that you couldn't have them kind of meet back up towards the end of the year, but I kind of thought, especially if John Cena holds this belt for a while, I could see Randy of being like his last opponent or one of his last ones that would
Oh,
have
yeah,
felt about right. Um, but I think it makes sense, especially with it being in St. Louis.
yeah,
It should be able to be a fun match, but I am a little worried. I It's so weird because part of me was like, with what happened at WrestleMania and the match, the main event there with John Cena in it, like we can all agree that it was not a great match.
yeah,
I think most of us can agree that. Maybe some people really liked it, but I think most people would say it was not great. And
yeah,
we were wondering if it was the gimmick that was doing that. So I'm worried as to all of his future matches, if that's what's going to happen, or if it just happened to be bad and they're just playing that into the storyline, and then this one could actually be good.
yeah. I mean, I think
I
that
don't know.
yeah, if the angles and the story that the ending of the match with Travis Scott, like if that was The Rock, if it was more things that we were interested in, I think the match would be totally fine, even if physically maybe the match wasn't the best. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I really hope that they do. If they are intending, if that was intentional and people did not like it, I hope they do switch it, tweak it a little bit, and give us matches that we can love still. And I don't know if Cena's gonna have to keep cheating. I'm thinking he's gonna have to keep cheating. It's just gonna be, is this gonna be a Jinder Mahal type of reign here where I mean, well, Jinder didn't, I don't know if he had great promos, but like here we'll have the great promos, we'll have these segments that we'll absolutely love, but when it comes time to the matches, it'd be a shame if we really can't get too excited for him. But
I
Randy
would agree.
delivered an RKO here, kind of looked at the belt, and it's pretty clear that is where they're going. If not next, very soon. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm all here for it.
yes, me too. So great opening segment. Kicks it off very strong. And then we had a women's tag team championship match where they played hot potato with it. The champions who lost them at WrestleMania to the ragtag.
Four-time tag team
Yes,
champions now.
yes, four-time Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez winning their belts back from the people they lost it to the other day. Lyra, Valkyria, and Becky Lynch. It's kind of crazy that they just dropped them right back to them. It just makes it even more wild that we canceled we canceled Roxanne Perez and Bailey, which people wanted that rivalry, to put Bailey in this ragtag tag with Lyra Valkyria just to eliminate Bailey from that match just to put Becky into that match so they could win the belts and then lose them the very next day. But
It is some interesting booking choices there. I will admit, but yeah, and I found it. The piece that I found weird was like as Dominik Mysterio just finally won his Intercontinental Championship, and I'm like, it felt better that they would also have belts,
yeah,
especially with kind of Finn being, Carlito doesn't really seem to care, and then but Finn does. I think it does affect him, so
yeah.
it's just weird to me that it was weird to me that they lost them. So I wasn't that surprised that they won them back. I thought it kind of made sense,
Mm.
but yeah, I don't know if I was thinking. I probably would have guessed at what happened, why they won.
Yes, and then it was followed up. Lyra and Becky had lost. Lyra took the pin, and then Becky Lynch turns on the woman who idolizes her, Lyra Valkyria. My gosh, how could she do it to her? They were best friends, and they were both Irish, and they teamed up for 2 nights. And now she turned on her and will likely be seeking the Intercontinental Championship. I think that's really awesome to have an actual story as thrown together and rushed as the setup's been. Um, I'm excited for the future with this rivalry. And the tag team championships are on an actual tag team. Everything's in a good position in my mind here.
Yeah, I would agree. It'll be interesting to see if Bailey gets involved in this and who attacked Bailey backstage. I'm going to assume that it was Becky, but I guess there's nothing to really confirm that.
That'd be
Uh,
really weird. Attack her to take her place. You win, then you lose, and then you're like, okay, I'll just let it all out now and show everyone how bad I am.
'Cause yeah, I mean we've gotten some really great triple threat matches, so I feel like Bailey versus Becky versus Lyra could be a really good match for the women's Intercontinental.
Yeah, I agree. And then next up, we had more tag team action is setting up for the New Day.
Yes, it
And
is.
they kind of got into a fight, and it looked like, oh, are they gonna defend these belts? And I think was it going to be for the titles? I forget if it was.
I
Probably
think they made
not.
it sound like it on commentary
Yeah.
against Akira Tozawa and Otis.
Yes. But
They were
then,
the challengers coming, and I was like, okay, I can get behind this.
yeah,
I would not.
Gunther put them over with their matches.
He really did. And I'm like, I really want big things. I told you before, I'm like, I want Otis to get some big things this year. Something
Yeah.
a little bigger. Doesn't not necessarily world championship, but
Yeah.
uh, I wanted some good things for Otis. And I'm like, oh, this could be a great start. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but you got heel New Day. I can't imagine they're dropping the belts. They'll just cheat.
Yeah.
But you can
But
at least
after
make them look good. Give them a new opponent.
but being the Raw after Mania, what we've seen so far, I was thinking there's a good chance. But this was the outcome. Poor Otis. Putting in the, oh, what is that called? I forget. The accolade
Oh yeah.
by Rusev. Rusev returning. I love how commentary, once they return, they always acknowledge rumors like, oh, we knew this was coming. And it's like, what? Okay, so sure, the fans did. I don't know if the announcers should be in on the signings and the rumors for things like this. I don't know. That's always a little funny to me. But yeah, before the
Yeah.
match started, lights went down. It's like, what's going on here? We got a new team. Rusev comes out without a teammate, just goes in and beats up. The New Day leaves, beats up Akira and Otis. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think. I still am not 100% sure. I mean, at least against Gunther, they did make them look a little bit more, a little better. So he is attacking someone that, obviously he can probably beat. It doesn't seem like they're maybe putting Otis over immediately here this year, but we still got a lot of time for him to be ready for next WrestleMania. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know if I would have rather had him attack someone in a singles kind of situation versus going
Mhm.
after the Raw tag teams, which have not been strong.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I guess it's an easy way to, give them a a moment without, putting anyone down. But I think you had said something, and I was like, is he going to have a tag partner?
Uh-huh.
Well, obviously not now, but at the time when he was standing there, I'm like, is someone else going to come in? Because I was trying to think of names. I'm like, who the heck would team with him?
Yeah,
That I could have seen that happening,
yeah,
but yeah, no one. There was no
no,
one teaming with him.
no. I'm glad he's back. I hope this isn't more than no more than 1 month fighting with Alpha Academy, which I like them. I hope they do
Yeah,
good things this year, but I want Rusev to be at least a high mid Carter, I would say, intercontinental area, but also have Dirty Dom there, and Rusev might be a heel, so I don't know if that'll work. So probably just be feuding with Penta till the end of time.
could be.
Uh,
Yeah, it'll at least get Akira Tozawa and Otis on the show, I hope, for at
yeah,
least a little bit.
yeah. And then we had the world champion for the women, Iyo Sky, come out, talk about, oh, thank you. They all forgot me. You fans never forgot me. Cutting a great promo. And then NXT women's champion, Stephanie Vaquer comes out. And then she also cuts a great promo. Now, they are great promos, but they both do have pretty heavy accents, so it is interesting imagining a future kind of promo battle rivalry
Between the
between
two
these
of
two. It's like, it's not, maybe not quite there. It's more, maybe not as bad as like Shinsuke back in those days where he would just say no speak English or whatever, but be interesting. And this was set up into a match, just no championships on the line, just a match. They said we want to fight the best of the best. Io said she's the best, so they had a match, and I thought it was a really good match. But it did end up in shenanigans from some NXT gals coming up here. I think it was Julia, who was previously champion in NXT, and then Roxanne Perez is now back, kind of re-debuting. And those two might kind of be a team. I don't know all the dynamics on NXT, but they attacked these two. And then Rhea Ripley comes out, kind of saves the day, and hands Io the belt, and kind of has some respect between the two of them. So Rhea
them.
is
Yeah,
staying a face, seemingly.
yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, I don't know. I wish she maybe would have went full face and like actually picked her up. She kind of handed her the belt, but was kind of like hanging on to it still, kind of like the handshake where then they are trying to get away and then they kind of pull him back in a little bit. Not necessarily punch him or anything, but pull him back in. It's kind of like that with the belt, but I'm like, could have went, I guess, full respect and kind of even like picked her up because I think she was kind of on the ground still. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if that means it's going to be another, matchup between those two,
yeah,
Io and Rhea next, or
yeah.
how that's going to work.
I would think Bianca would be out of the picture then, unless at least out of the title picture. I think maybe Rhea and Bianca might have a match, but yeah, not sure. But it was cool to see. Good match. Then we moved on to a Jey Uso segment. We had a big video package for his life. And then we ended up getting a celebration with Sami Uso and Jimmy Uso.
Big Jim.
Yes, yes. So it was, I mean, it would be nice to celebrate this and have his friends there. If Sami Zayn wasn't like always right behind Jay and our minds are running, it's like, oh gosh, he's gonna grab him because this is Sami Zayn kind of returning after a few months from his match with Kevin Owens at Elimination Chamber. And it didn't help that I fantasy booked Sami Zayn to take out Jey Uso and take his spot in the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Go check out our fantasy booking for WrestleMania 41. But I kind of had a similar thing. Sammy's there, Jimmy's there supporting him, and I had Sammy turn on Jay. So that's all I was expecting, and they really drawed this one out. This was a very long celebration with like no
It was.
talking really. I mean, they both hyped him up. But even after that, with the music playing, They were just slowly walking up the ramp, doing all these things, and nothing ever came of it. No attacking, which probably the right choice. You don't want to immediately go back into the struggle. Um, but my expectations were built up probably a little too high.
Yeah, I was. I figured I had put in my time of watching the Jey Uso Gunther match where somehow Jey whooped Gunther up pretty badly. So I thought I did my time, and in return, I thought I would get a huge Jey beatdown on Raw after Mania. Was what I was hoping by someone. I didn't even know if it was going to be Gunther or if it would just be, Seth was going to come and challenge or something. I figured we would find the next challenger for Jay. And yeah, and like you said, there's that little bit of me that's like, are Sammy and Big Jim gonna turn on him here? Because I was like, I don't hate it, but I also don't know that I love that.
Yeah,
And yeah, it went on for a long time, which really made it feel like something was going to happen,
yeah,
something more. So yeah, it was nice for him, but at the same time, it's kind of like this is kind of the big kind of reason I thought they were going to have him at WrestleMania if he did win. I thought this something like this was going to happen at WrestleMania, not the
okay.
Raw after WrestleMania. Trying to
Okay.
get, 60,000 fans yeeting and stuff. And I don't know if he, and maybe it's the sound in the stadium. I don't know. Sometimes it seems like a stadiums you don't really get the sound as clear. So maybe they were, and maybe it was that, but it just felt like it wasn't that loud when
Yeah,
he
I
was there.
mean,
Like people weren't that excited about it. I
yeah,
don't know if the finish caught him off guard a little bit, so they weren't like
yeah,
fully like, "Oh, did he win?"
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was good.
yeah.
But
It was
next week, I want to see who's going to be facing Jay.
next week. You want someone taking out all three of these guys.
Well, maybe, something brand new that WWE doesn't do. Definitely not. And definitely not in the tag women division. Maybe Jey Uso's found backstage on the ground, taken
Ooh,
out. Who did it?
yeah, that could happen. It could happen.
Karrion Kross was seen walking by the scene of
That's
the
true.
crime.
He was. He was.
And he claims he didn't do it.
He always is. Oh, Karen Cross. He's
He'll
this.
say he saw Sami, though, but no one would believe that.
No, no. You're just pulling shenanigans. Oh boy, Karen Cross's stock skyrocketing. Bye, bye, bye. My goodness, what was next here? Oh yeah, speaking of Gunther, it's like, oh, is he just gonna go away? Is he not gonna be on the show? He
Yeah.
was on the show. We come back from commercial and he's uh kind of debating. He's yelling, he's arguing with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, and words turn to pushes and shoves. And Pat McAfee kind of comes in there, I think, defending Michael Cole, and Gunther just full out attacks him and puts him in the dang sleeper.
But
Puts
yeah, I think originally pushed Pat, and then
pushback.
Michael kind of got upset about that, and then Gunther just grabs Michael and puts him in the sleeper,
Oh
and then
yeah,
Pat comes and punches him off of him, and he doesn't like that. And then I think they kind of broke him away, and then he grabs Pat. Oh my gosh, he grabs Pat.
oh
Pat's crew is in the crowd there in the front row, hopping over, trying to get to him to help him. They got 5 people trying to get him off. He's so strong, can't move his arms.
oh, this was. Are we are we gonna get the match of this or not? Because they do. It feels like every time they do an angle where it's like, oh, we're gonna get the announcer, or the general manager, we're gonna get someone, we're gonna get them finally wrestling, finally doing something, and then they almost never end up actually doing it. Do we get it here, or is this just maybe writing Pat McAfee? I don't know if he was just going to rest through WrestleMania with his commentary job, maybe. I think he sometimes he does that. Kind of just gets the hypest period of wrestling and commentates for that, and then maybe goes away. Maybe this is just writing him off. But I would love to see a match.
Yeah, it got me way more interested in a Pat McAfee versus Gunther match than I would have thought. And I'm totally fine in that case if they do have the match. If Gunther pretty much dominates him, I think that would make the most sense. Because I think it's now probably has it been like a year and a half since Pat's actually been in a match? So
I
it
think
makes sense. Um, But yeah, this is we got it with Jim, I guess. Big Jim taking him out, being pretty brutal. Where has this Gunther been his whole reign? He had the belt for forever. What seemed like forever.
Yeah.
Months. Probably like half a year, right?
Yeah, from like SummerSlam to WrestleMania.
Where was this?
No,
Where was this? We needed more of this in the J feud.
he was
I mean,
like,
I guess
no, I don't
maybe
know.
got it a little bit with Tozawa and Otis matches as well, but not really. It didn't
But
feel that big. Jim one was the first one that felt like that, and then now this, which makes sense. He's upset, but I don't know why he didn't come out in the previous 25 minutes when Jay was out there, especially before Sammy and Jim were in there.
yeah,
Had him all to himself. Could have come up behind him just like Randy came up on Cena.
yeah, he was scared. He was a scared Gunther. He's outnumbered. Uh, But yeah, we definitely need more of this Gunther. I'm glad that we are seemingly getting more Gunther, and he's not taking a break. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I was a little worried he might be, but
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully. Unless he's
Yeah,
suspended.
that's true. That's true. This can't go. This can't be allowed, except it is every single week. Uh, then we had an Intercontinental Championship match. First defense for Dirty Dom, which are they trying? Is this rigged against Dirty Dom? He's just so good that they just make him defend the title immediately against Penta. But he ended up getting the victory. Is Penta just gonna keep getting beaten? He was heavily pushed to begin with, but now he just seems to not be able to find a win. But of course, there were shenanigans. Earlier in the night,
That's
we
true.
had Judgment Day backstage, and Finn. It's like, is he upset from the Fatal Four Way, the fighting between Dom and Finn Balor, and they're like, well, one of us is champion. That's good, right? Liv says, calling him down. He's like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and you, with your detective skills, pointed out they're still in Vegas. That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I thought after he said that, I'm like, oh, Finn is hinting that he is going to screw Dom out of this title. I thought for sure that's what was going to happen here.
Yeah.
So I was actually pretty surprised with the outcome because I thought he's going to be like, I told you what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, but he and a returning JD McDonough back from injury ended up helping Dominik to get the victory over Penta. Um, I think still mainly Dominik delivering the move, so that's a good push for Dominik to be decently strong and winning defending champion. So I'm glad JD's back. Glad Dominik's still champion.
Hmm.
I'm not so glad if this means that the Judgment Day is continuing to be strong, and never going to break up ever, 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 ever.
I honestly, I mean, gosh, it seemed, but I suppose the Damien and Finn breakup seemed like that went on forever and ever and ever. So I guess it would make sense if it's a similar thing here. Especially now with JD back, maybe that'll
Yeah.
shake some things up. Maybe he'll start to side with like Carlito or stuff because Carlito seems to really be with the rest of the Judgment Day, even though he's not champion personally. Um, but yeah, maybe JD will start siding with him, and Finn will get upset, or
Mm.
maybe JD and Carlito win the tag belts. I doubt it. I
Ooh.
don't see any way they take them off the New Day. That doesn't make any sense. But if they did, all of a sudden Finn's the one without any championship.
Yeah.
What does that do? Could be
Yeah.
interesting, but I don't know that that will actually happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm going to continue to believe that Finn Balor is going to get a big push out of this. He's going to break from the Judgment Day and he's going to get all the hype and all the push and wins and gold that he's deserved for the last 10 years. But I'm a fool. But you know who's not a fool? That is Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. And Braun Breaker. My goodness, the main event angle.
As you can see on the ground there.
Yep, is two opponents from WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, ex Tribal Chief to the Wise Man and ex best friend. to the wise man, CM Punk. They go out there, they say, there's a new number one, there's a new whatever, running this joint. His name's Seth Rollins, blah, blah, blah. Good promo, good segment. Then CM Punk comes out and he's pretty angry and he's shoving Paul around and I think he kind of gets into a fight with Seth Rollins and Seth ends up getting the better of him, I believe, and then the credits start to roll. And then Paul Heyman, I believe, then he grabs the mic and starts talking. We're gonna send you off with this and blah blah blah. More hype for him. That might have actually been the first time that he had spoken. And then Roman Reigns' music hits, and I'm like, that's all the credits. And I'm like, oh, this is about over. I don't know if you were feeling the same way. And then
Mhm.
what happens? Like, wait a minute, that's not Seth's theme. That's Roman Reigns' theme. We're getting a lot more here.
It was weird. It did take me like half a second to realize. I'm like, wait a minute. That's Roman Reigns.
That's
Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
but yeah, that just
I
felt like a real treat.
Yeah, I did not think. I can't remember if our other reactions to the WrestleMania, especially yeah, the first night. I think I might have said that I was pretty sure Roman wasn't going to show up on television for probably a while. And I probably also wasn't sure about CM Punk either. Not to say now, they were still in Vegas, so it's not like they,
Yeah.
went somewhere else and were at that show. So maybe now, maybe they'll be written off for a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not. Uh, we will have to see what happens there, but it was very exciting to have them because I honestly did not expect them on the show, either of them. Um, and yeah, so then we had Roman Reigns entering. Very exciting, and it's like, oh boy, what are we gonna get here? And you think, oh, is Rollins gonna get the best of him too? Maybe, utilizing Paul as the bait kind of thing and, catch him off guard. Um, and I think Roman came off the rope and speared Seth. So then it was just him and Paul there. And then
He
he knocked Paul over.
he did the
Oh yeah, he
Superman
Superman
punch.
punched him. I knew. I was like, I don't think he speared him. What did he do to him? I knew he did, but yeah, he Superman punched him, which was awesome. I was like, I know he's like pushed him over and stuff, but I don't think he's actually hit like one of his signature or finisher moves on him. So that was kind of fun. And then he was lining up.
He
Was he?
was. I
He
think
was lining up for the spear
he was lining
on
up for the
Paul
spear.
Heyman.
Yeah.
I think he was finally going to do it. He's like, "Oh, Paulie, you wise man, let me down." He didn't say that, but he was thinking it. And I don't know, it was an awkward angle. But then all of a sudden, I swear, I see Paul Heyman spear Roman Reigns. I'm like, Paul, where did that come from? Why is Paul Heyman spearing Roman? Why?
I thought the very same thing because the man in black comes and spears Roman Reigns. Oh,
Yeah, wearing kind of hoodie, but at the time I was like the only one like in the ring at that time that was wearing something that looked even remotely similar was Paul Heyman, and I was like, did he just spear Roman? And then I realized I'm like, oh no, this is someone else. This is someone else, and reveals himself, and it's Solo Sikoa. No, it is not Solo Sikoa. It isn't one of the Tongas. It's not even an Uso at all. It's a Braun Breaker. And yeah, that was really awesome. I think that's been speculated by fans for a while, or, kind of fantasy booked by fans of Braun Breaker, kind of, as this bloodline thing kind of is finishing up, drying up, and, the next guy Paul Heyman should go for and kind of be the next Paul Heyman guy is Braun Breaker. He feels like maybe those could be a fun duo. Um, and the fans got what they wanted to have. I think I've seen that anyway. Or am I just making that up?
I have seen that as well. And is he behind the stage? He's kind of working with someone. Is that Braun Breaker?
Oh yeah,
Big.
maybe that's what it is. Because yeah, it was teased on the Pat McAfee show today because Paul was on that, and I think he had said because I think one of the crew had asked him, "Oh, with these guys coming after you, like CM Punk and Roman, now that they're upset with you, do you need some extra beef, or some security, some extra guys? Are you going out and looking for more to recruit, kind of thing, so that they can kind of defend you and whatnot?" And Paul had hinted he's shopping around a little bit, and then they asked, I think, if he had anyone in mind in particular. He said he had some people, some ideas. And then I think, yeah, the crowd did start chanting, woof, 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 woof. So I think they definitely, that's what they wanted. So it is, I don't know. I doubt that had anything to do with it actually being him, but it would be interesting to find out if that had any impact at all, or like if they, moved this up because of that, or if this was
Okay.
always the plan, to do it, this night. Makes sense to do it, here where you're kind of
Yeah.
restarting, and you've got kind of now this new, I guess it's a faction. I don't know if it's going to be a tag team or if they're going to add someone else, be more of a
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Is it technically a faction? I mean, I think
I guess,
overall it's a faction, but
yeah, I guess with the manager, he's not like a third actual member or anything. I think it would be considered a faction. Yeah, I would think so.
the learning tree, maybe.
The Learning Tree. Yes, that is a great name for it.
But yeah, this was really exciting, and
Yeah.
um, I it makes me get over the fact that Dominik was defending against Penta randomly versus if he's having, like you said, are they screwing him already? Why is he having to defend against someone that wasn't even the champion? It's
Yes.
not even like Braun Breaker wanted his rematch or something, and I was like. I was hopeful for a Braun Breaker thing or big things for him. So I thought one of the options was maybe the Jey Uso as well, like yeah, beat him up. That didn't happen. I was like, oh, what are they gonna do with him? And
And it
yeah,
was maybe the best, maybe the
I
best option.
when Paul was saying that, I thought he was maybe kind of
Yeah.
you know joking a little bit, kind of playing with the fans, making them be like, oh, you never know what's gonna happen. And whether or not that, yeah, could be months down the road, might not necessarily be planned anything soon, but obviously it was. They were asking the right questions. They were on to him.
They were. That is. Oh, it's an insane angle. Yeah, yeah, good camera work by it for both times because it did look like Paul Heyman speared him. So it was good camera work to not show Braun Breaker getting in there. And then as well, when he went for another spear, when it was looking like him and Seth looking, it's like, is he going to spear Seth? And he goes and spears CM Punk right
Oh yeah,
behind him. And Seth kind of wraps his arm around him. Just great stuff. And then delivers a spear to Roman through the barricade on the outside, the whole around the ring spear. So that's a match we gotta get. I am so excited to see Roman versus Braun at some point down the line, and just this whole thing shaken out. It's really usually there's a lull after WrestleMania, but this one I'm so into pretty much everything that was on this Raw, especially this main event angle. It's one of the best Raw after Manias that I can remember. Maybe
I
the
agree.
best.
I agree 100%. I don't know what more they could have done. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what else they could
Could have
have done
beat
to
could have
add to it.
beat up Jey Uso. That's what they could have.
That's true. That they were missing a little bit of beating up Jey Uso, but I'll give it to them. They gave him that moment. I felt like that should have been the thing that they did a little bit more, focus on a little bit more at WrestleMania. It didn't feel like he really got that, but it definitely did here. So I'll let him have 1 week. But
Yeah.
if they do that again next week, he rolls back the music, asks for it to play again. He better be getting taken out by this faction, this new
Oh, that's
faction.
true.
Paul
That's
Heyman better
true.
order him out there. You stop that man. You don't let him turn his music back on again. I've had enough yeeting.
That's true. Oh, what if he does that and then they play someone else's theme? And if someone begged to come and beat his butt. Ooh, Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed needs to join this
Ooh,
crew. We need it.
that
Get
could
them
be
in
really,
there.
really cool.
But then I don't know, once they all kind of break up, who do I want Paul Heyman with most?
It's true.
Be hard to
Do you
tell.
think Rusev could join this group?
Ooh.
Or also, as the people are all talking about speculating, The Rock's big crew that he's got. Obviously, Seth and Paul are part of that crew. So now, with Becky turning, she could be part of that crew. I guess Braun Breaker is now also part of that crew. The Rock's gonna have like 20 guys representing him.
This War Games is going to be insane. Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's
I don't think it's connected to The Rock at all.
yeah, I mean
Now that
maybe
Braun's been revealed, I don't think there's any
this
connection.
might be kind of in place just because maybe The Rock found out not going to be able to be there to kind of represent this. Maybe they kind of came up with this idea to take over the kind of authority bad guy role in the meantime. But yeah, probably not. It's kind of weird to kind of have two bad kind of groups, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Maybe Finn could be part of this group. Turn
Big
on the
thing.
Judgment Day and join them.
Big things. And then he's just treated like the same chump he was.
We all know who the chump of the group is who's going to be eating those tins whenever they need it.
They're like, we want to protect everybody. Hey, put Finn Balor in the group. There you go.
There we go.
Please, no. Please, no. We've suffered enough, us Finn Balor fans.
Oh God, or maybe Drew. Now I'm just getting myself too excited.
Oh, Drew.
I just hope that I
Yeah.
hope SmackDown will be good as well. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Would you rank this higher than either night of WrestleMania?
I felt like the crowd, you could hear him more here, so it must have to do
This
with
is
the
it.
stadium size, because I can't imagine. It's got to be a lot
Can't
of
imagine
fans.
like a quarter of the fans make more noise than that. Yeah, I would agree. It's got to be the way the stadium is
Yeah.
built. But yeah, this though you get more kind of promo stuff. That was all matches. So it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah. Yeah.
More angles on this.
I like the story developments a little bit more. That's kind of what WrestleMania does lack sometimes. And well, that triple threat main event, night one, had all the angles. Some other things aren't as great. So this might be the best night of the three. Night two was probably overall maybe a little bigger, a little better, but this is right up there with it. This really made it a whole weekend and start of a new week, all connected. Fantastic. 10
I
out of
agree.
10.
Yeah, it
Amazing.
was it was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
Uh,
that was our review. What were your thoughts? Did you think this was a horrible, horrible episode of Monday Night Raw?
we are way
My
overhyping it. People hate this. They'll hate it. They'll be like, "This was sucky."
worst Raw after Mania ever. Um, but yeah, what were your thoughts? What are your predictions for this? All these angles, this one in particular, this main event. What is the future of this group? But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that WWE popcorn.